Welcome to Friendly Differences Podcast 2.0. Happy Saturday. Happy what do we have? Hope everyone had a good Friday. Happy Easter to everyone. I am your outspoken host, Dread Empath, and with me as always.
Solid Blue Sister.
And before we get started, we at Friendly Differences would like to send our heartfelt condolences and thoughts and prayers to the people who lost their lives on the Francis Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland this past week.
Absolutely.
Of course, we already have the conspiracy theorists, the people who became structural engineers overnight just with a video, so on and so forth. But let's remember that when we set everything aside, lives were lost. People were on their way to work, coming from work, and at work, the construction workers. So we would like to say, heartfelt condolences and thoughts to the families and victims of the bridge collapse.
And also, I want to add to that is already it's a political matter. And
Right.
about how much money to give to rebuild the bridge. The governor is a blue person, but the bottom line is not about politics. It's about people being able to get to and from work, get to and from home, taking their kids to school, picking their kids up. It's about the country. It's about America. It's about just trying to keep daily things going. So y'all, need to think about that before,
Right.
everything starts. So having said that,
Now, our subject today is Biden. Context, right? Now, I'm going to tell you solid when I was at work when this happened. And I had my aunt texting me, my mom, my brother, because I have friends in Baltimore and I go down there and guess what? They live 20 minutes from that bridge. So I go over that bridge. And the first thing I thought was the first thing they're going to do is politicize it. And I said, this is going to become a political scapegoat because what has Biden and the Democrats have been pushing? They've been pushing infrastructure.
infrastructure.
Infrastructure. And people saying, "Oh, they deliberately hit the bridge. The ability to steer wouldn't have left with the ship losing power. Hey, I'm railroad. I don't know about the sea. But I said, do y'all understand how old that bridge probably is? When's the last time it's been serviced? Just watching it collapse, it just collapsed like Jenga, like Legos. I was
I mean, again, this all ties into to Biden to what we're talking about. But again, guys, even with something, and we talked about context last week when we were talking about Trump. But
yes,
when you look at this bridge, we do have to put it in context because, again, you're looking at a bridge that is Lord knows how many years old, how many decades old, whatever. Um, Again, put it in context of the fact that people need this bridge to get to and from work,
right,
um, as opposed to we're not going to give money for this bridge until after November, or we're not going to do this until. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So,
right,
and again, um, you're hurting yourselves by behaving in that way. So
right.
anyway, having said that, let's get on and start talking about Joe Biden. If you don't vote for me, you ain't
You
black.
ain't black.
So, Dred, I have to ask, when you first heard that, what did you think?
I was taken aback by it because I said, "What?"
Oh boy.
And then I thought to myself, "This is the same man that said he didn't want his children going to school with a bunch of animals or whatever he said about in regards to us, decades ago. Now you want the black vote and say, "Oh, if you don't vote for us, you ain't black." Like,
So
who
you
do you
don't vote
think
for
you are,
me,
sir?
you
If you
ain't
don't vote
black.
for me, you ain't black.
You have to make sure that you say the me part, not
Right,
us,
right.
not
Yeah,
us,
you don't vote
me.
for me, you ain't black. Now, I wish I could
Oh,
ask him, sir, who do you think you are? Do you think that because you were President Obama's vice president that you automatically get the black vote? Like you inherit our vote. It doesn't work like that. You have to, and I think we've talked about this solid about how when it comes to black people, we really have to choose the lesser of the two evils. When it comes to us, you need to let us know why you are the lesser of the two evils.
okay, and I think that for this election cycle, we already know who is the lesser of two evils because the other one has proven, and he proves every single day why he's not getting my vote. But with Joe Biden, when he said that, you know what? Let's look at the tape. Let's go to the tape.
Personal comments he made about another White House hopeful, Senator.
Hold on, we're gonna come to that one. We're gonna come to that one.
Caught me sipping my
Oh
tea.
boy.
Right.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Strom Thurmond was a clear racist. You're going to hear him speak for himself.
In fact, he was so racist, it was almost funny.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negro race into our theaters, into our springs.
You heard what he said? He said the N-I-G-G-E-R race. He didn't put the A on it. He had the E-R on it. The strong E-R. That's what he said.
Into our homes and into our churches.
And that's your boy, Geriatric Joe, right here. That's your boy.
I came to the United States Senate, a 29-year-old fella, and turns out one of my closest friends ends up being Strom Thurmond.
The racist, the one you just heard use the hard ER to describe desegregation. Desegregation.
But solid, it was a different time. It was a different time.
It was okay. All right. Let's talk about the different time. I know this is not the you ain't black one.
Right.
Strom Thurmond. If some of you guys don't know some of the history, he was one of the biggest racists ever, and he actually had a mixed child who he denied for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, because he had a relationship, an ongoing relationship with a black woman who was kind of like the Sally Hemings and Jefferson, because she didn't want to have anything to do with him, but he kind of like held things over her head and you gonna sleep with me type thing, and back then you had a lot of domestics, black domestic workers, women who would go into these homes, these southern homes of these white people, and the men would I don't even want to say take advantage of the domestic workers. They were raped on a daily basis, and that's what Strom Thurmond did. For Joe Biden to be associated with someone like that and then turn around to say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I did vote for Biden, and again, I am someone who always votes. I will always vote. But it still comes down for black people and white folks. You can rationalize it all you want to and say, how could you say that? Because I mean, white people jumped on that, just jumped on it.
Right.
But then again, you look at the other person, and the other person being Trump. Mm-hmm. What do? We're constantly doing this. Every single day, we are constantly doing this. Now, yes, I had someone who we were I was in a discussion. He was in an argument. And I said, I'm not talking about this anymore. I'm talking, wait. Let me just ask you this. Are you going to vote for Biden again? And I said, yes. Screaming, how could you? Oh my God. I mean, literally screaming, hollering. And it's like, really? But yet you're supporting the other guy. And see, the first thing they want to say, oh, Trump's done so much for Black people. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. And we know that he hasn't. Strom Thurmond's friend, Strom Thurmond supporter. You don't vote for me, you ain't Black. On the other hand, we have somebody who is still after the Central Park Five were exonerated through DNA, proving that they were not
Right. They were not guilty
and beating up this Central Park jogger, and were not guilty.
Right.
Just 100% not guilty. Spent years in prison. Donald Trump is still calling for their execution. Donald Trump has still, said things about Black people that are just reprehensible. But then again, you look at Joe Biden. Because see, when it comes to white people, again, we always have to tread lightly. Where are we going to go? And again, and Dre, I know I'm taking up time here, but one thing that James Baldwin said that I always remember: we may not know you personally, but we know you historically.
Right.
And that history has to determine how we vote, how we talk to you, what we're going to do, whatever. We're always
treading, teeter-tottering.
Yep.
Like, we're always balancing our scales.
Mm-hmm.
And what pisses me off, excuse my French, is I see more Black people saying they're going to vote for the other guy because Biden has done nothing, and Biden has done nothing for the economy. And I'm asking these people, do you read? Do you read? Do you go and study and research before you start saying who did what and who did do what? First of all, you have we just spoke about Trump talking about how if Jewish people don't vote for him, then they hate Israel and hate their own religion, which was false. And we knew that was false. Joe saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. It's all about pandering. They're going to pander to who they know is going to give them the largest vote. When it all boils down to it, when it comes to a presidential election, you have to become a demagogue. If you're not already, and Trump is, and Joe Biden is. They didn't just become demagogues overnight. They are going to play on the emotions, the feelings, the fears of their demographic. So what did Trump do? He brought out those ugly sneakers for $300. Right. Biden, I'm noticing a lot of people feel as though he's weak. They feel as though he's weak because he doesn't respond. I can't tell you how many times I've heard from the MAGA supporters. They said that had Trump been in office, Putin wouldn't have invaded the Ukraine. They feel as though they feel as though Biden is going to lead us into World War III.
Wait. Considering that you have the other guy who wanted war, he even said, I want to be a wartime president. And, you're so worried about leading, the MAGA group is so worried about Biden leading us into World War III. These are the same people who want a race war right here in America on American soil. So
I agree.
So
and most of them don't even know the last war that was fought on American soil was the Civil War. And I know we say that every presidential election is important. We feel it's starting to feel like that, but when it comes down to, you remember how everybody felt when we vote when we had Bush, not
Bush
the first
41 or
Bush,
41
the
and 43. 43. Okay.
43.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but if I had to choose between 43 and 45, I probably would have took I probably would have took Bush if those was my only options as far as Republican. But I really don't know how Joe Biden is going to take this election, because he's not making, and I can only speak for our demographic, which is Black people. Black people are not happy with Joe Biden. And I'm on social media, Solid. I'm on Instagram,
No,
I'm on
you know what?
Facebook.
And we go back and forth on this, and I agree with you. When yes, Black people are not happy with him, but I believe that when it comes time, they're gonna show up. They're gonna show up, and they're gonna show up because, again, it comes down to those lesser of two evils, and you see what this other person gets on and spouts every single day, just the hatred and the vitriol and whatever. So I think that they may reluctantly cast a vote. I mean, do I want to cast my vote for Biden? No. Do I want to cast my vote for Trump? Hell
Hell
no.
no.
So what wins? The no or the hell no? The no wins. I mean, seriously. I mean, and people can say, "Oh, that's ridiculous," because I have had Trump people come back to me and white people come back to me and say that doesn't make any sense. It does make sense. It, for people who look like me, it does make sense, because the other alternative is to stay home, and I'm not going to stay home.
I'm not staying home.
Because staying home is automatically giving the other person the vote. So
Biden is losing a lot of support because they don't feel as though he's handling the
Israeli
war as well as he should. They're like, oh, he's funding them.
But see, it's not that the way he's not handling, it's the fact that he is giving them money. But at the same time,
they all gave him money.
This is what I'm saying. They all gave him money. So if this war in Israel had started with Obama, they would have been mad at him. If and Trump was a big supporter of Netanyahu. Also, he was also kissing his butt. Every president has kissed Israeli butt. They have. Why? I don't know, but they have consistently kissed Israeli butt. So people need to go back and they need to look at that. But I want to respond to what you said about that they feel that Joe Biden's weak because he doesn't respond. Now, Dread, you know how I am and how I respond to some things. I don't respond to some things. I believe that there are some things that don't need a response. I don't believe that every time you turn around, you need to call people out, curse them out, whatever. It's not necessary. There are times when I walk away from people because it's just not worth the response. It just is. It's just not worth it.
Right.
Walking away could be strategy, and walking away, you don't have to respond. I mean, when you think about it, if Biden responded to everything that Trump said, Biden would be on the news every single day, every other minute, responding constantly to something that crackpot says. It's not worth a response. Some things are just not. You know what? Y'all go over there. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to run this country the best I can. I'm not trying to get on social media and the 10 o'clock news and 9 o'clock news, whatever it is, responding to a whole bunch of crap. So that's how I see it, because I was accused by somebody who says, yeah, every time you don't want to, talk about something, you go into the bathroom because it's the only way to get away from this person. You know, because it's not, I mean, seriously, because it's just not worth responding to. Some things are just, I mean, seriously. So that's how I see it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think that people just missed the drama of Trump. It was never a dull moment for 4 years. That's why.
It was dull moments. Every moment was dull. It's that people miss the chaos.
That's
chaos.
What I'm saying.
And that is what they want. They want the chaos. So so
listen, politics used to be boring as ever. Politics used to be boring. People didn't watch it. Now people just, hey, let's get on Twitter and see. That's the thing. Biden is not my favorite person. He's not. But he's trying, you know, I can't run down verbatim what he's done. Student loans, infrastructure. He didn't. I mean,
the economy has gotten better.
The economy
jobs have gotten better. But see, again, you look at the economy and people, you know, the first thing they do is, I mean, for me, I was in the market this morning, and a market that I don't shop at hardly anymore because the price is going up and up. But I was at one place and I needed what I needed to cook tonight. And I went in there. I was like, good Lord, you know, but I didn't buy that product, but I bought another one. I mixed it up a little bit, but that's what people see. They're still going to the stores. It's not that the fact that things are still expensive. It's the fact that these companies are still taking advantage of COVID, you know, to keep the prices high. So you have to, again, put it in context, and people are not doing that.
I agree. Unemployment is down, as you said. They're like, oh, this is the worst inflation in such and such years. And they don't some people don't understand that just because the United States is not involved in a war does not mean that the war does not directly affect us in one way, shape, or form. I ask people, go back to when Putin decided to invade Ukraine. You know, we trade goods from Ukraine. So naturally, the tax is going to go up for said goods if we can't get it here to the States. I said, you know, this is not hard to go and research, folks. You guys want to blame the president over and over again. That's not how this works. But
no, it isn't. It isn't.
That's not how this works. The president doesn't just say, hey, we're going to shoot gas up to another $1.25, even though Trump would have his supporters say, oh, yeah, I got gas down to $1.67. No, you didn't. Nobody was driving. Everybody was at home. You didn't do anything.
Oh, goodness.
Gas went up when we went out.
Yes. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Of course, gas is higher under Biden. We're back to people flying, taking trains, driving cross country. We're back to life as usual. So we're back, you know, we're back to life as usual. So of course you're going to have high gas prices.
Okay. A says you are asking people to research that never learn how to properly research. You know, not even properly research. They don't care. They don't care. All they see is just one certain thing. But hold on for a second, y'all. Hold on. And Ace, just stop. Just stop, Ace. Because I know she's laughing at me right now, but
we got a video coming.
Yes, we do.
Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. And you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community.
All right. So let's talk about that for a moment, because we even got it wrong. It's not, he did not say if you don't vote for me. He says if you have a hard time figuring if you're for me or Trump, you ain't black, which I guess I can translate into if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. But again, the fact that he even said it, don't assume, Joe. Don't assume.
Here's the thing, and I've met black people like this, and some white people as well. They don't understand racism. They think that racism is calling somebody the N-word or saying the N-word out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Joe Biden has said the N-word out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Trump hasn't. We haven't heard him say it out loud, so we can only speculate that he said it.
Trump
Did he?
has said the N-word out loud.
Oh, I'll go find that video.
Not on social media as we know it, but Trump has said the N-word out loud. But you make a very good point, because when you look back at history, you have a lot of politicians on both sides who have said the N-word out loud.
Out loud.
They have said it out loud. We know people who are considered friends who have probably said the N-word out loud.
Right.
Or who were probably about to say it, but they caught themselves. So again, and right now somebody is probably saying, oh, Trump never said that, Trump never said it. But again, even if you don't say it, your actions, you may not say the N-word out loud, but if you're a white nationalist walking around with a white sheet, if you were, burning crosses, back during civil rights, and you may not have said it out loud, but you're on a black person's lawn, with the sheet over your head.
Right.
That's saying it out loud. So like you said, just because you don't say the word, you have other, the Boston Tea Party 2.0. They made, the guy who was getting beat the first time, the black guy that was getting jumped on, he said that they were racial slurs. But even if they weren't, you're by your actions jumping on me is, seriously, and when you use that word, you just think that you have so much power. You look like a coward. And if you use the word, if you're black or white and you use the word, shame on you, and shame on you more so for black people.
Oh, I don't use the word. I really, 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 like, even when I'm, what we call code switching, I try not to use it with my friends, because I don't know, it just sounds really ignorant to me now. So I try not to use it. But again, and Ace says you have the blatant racists and the undercover racists. I would rather see what's coming than have no clue it is about to hit. We know about, and I get that. Joe is like the smiling grandpa that's trying to get into heaven now. And Trump is the grandpa that says, hey, don't bring no colors over to the house.
Colors. Don't bring those colors.
Don't bring the color.
Don't bring the colors.
Right. What's that old color gal's name? You know what I'm saying? Trump is the more dangerous one. He's the more harmful one, because his base, and I know that people don't like when I say this, they've already showed the propensity for violence. Honestly, both of them are harmful for black people. They're old rickety men who've been here since the beginning of time. They should not be in charge of the country.
But you still have the young ones who are racist
coming right up behind Trump
and should not be in charge of a country. So what do you do? I mean, like I said, either way, for us,
the lesser of the two evils.
I mean, again, for us, it's still okay. So Trump doesn't get in, Biden doesn't get in, but you have people like Matt Gaetz, you have your Marjorie Taylor Greens, you have all these other people. You have your
Ben Shapiro's.
Ben Shapiro's, your I mean, you even have your Clarence Thomas's. I mean, you have these people who are, who are not white, but they are white.
They're Oreos.
So it's always the lesser of two evils, and that's something that white people, whether you are blue, red, whatever side of the fence you're on, no matter how liberal you are on, you won't understand that, because you'll always just assume that, well, it really doesn't matter because blah, blah, blah. It does matter. It will always matter to people who look like us. It always will. And that's just something that they won't get. But I do want to play a video. This is something that, and I remember Biden saying this, and I was offended when he said this.
Personal comments he made about another White House hopeful, Senator Barack Obama.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
And if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Okay, the "you ain't black" was actually at the end of this video, but you have someone who is articulate and clean, nice looking, as opposed to what?
Right.
As opposed to what? So again, you're saying things that it was insulting when he said this. It was insulting. But then again, I have to go back and look at the other guy, and it's like,
what that reminded me of? Color Purple. Your children are so clean. Would you like to work for me? Be my maid? Like, we're clean, articulate, as opposed to what? As if we're not supposed to.
As opposed to some of them who are not clean, are not articulate. I mean,
Ace, why do you have to point out he is articulate, clean, nice looking, etc.? You would not do that if it was a white candidate. You are giving a backhanded compliment. Absolutely. Yes, because did anybody say that Trump was clean, even though it came out that he smells? He doesn't speak well. He sounds like a buffoon. But
Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Baybird, however you pronounce her name, they can't. I mean, it's like, again, would you have said this if this person were white? But no. On the other hand, you have people on the other side of the aisle who are saying things just as bad. So again, it comes down to, for my vote, lesser of two evils, and the evil is rearing its ugly head in court every single day, because that's where that person is, in court every single day.
Wasting taxpayers' money. But
and then A says, I'm sorry, I just want to read this real quick. We should not have to choose between the lesser of two evils. We should not be placed in that situation. We should not have to bargain our lives on the scale of evil. You're right, but unfortunately,
as long as we have a two-party system, it's going to be this way. It's going to be, do I want to get shot or do I want to get stabbed? Because that's how it feels. Do I want to get shot? Do I want to get stabbed? Because I don't know what the next 4 years is going to hold. Are going to hold. If Biden gets in, what can we see? More inflation, as according to the naysayers. Oh, we won't be able to afford homes. We won't be able to afford rent. Once again, no one is putting blame where blame needs to be placed. They're still blaming the president. You're blaming the president because your landlord is ripping you off. Now, we had this conversation about turning a profit. Fine. But if your landlord is charging you $2,700 a month and their mortgage is only $1,600, it might be time to move. But people are complaining about the economy, about inflation. They feel as though it's Biden's fault. Trump has promised that we'll all be able to afford homes, and he'll, I'm going to bring so many jobs. Okay. China is not going to build car plants in Mexico and sell them. No. So I feel like some Black people are falling for the okie doke.
Okie doke.
Yeah, they falling for the old okie doke when it comes to Trump. But they feel like Biden is giving them the old okie doke.
All right. Dread, I just
You're worried?
I am not worried. What worries me is the fact that I'm not even gonna say it worries me. What is still concerning to me.
Pause. We have a troll in the comments.
I mean, you know what? And I'm let's hold on. Let me read what Anthony says, and then we'll get to him. The system in this country has always been set up for white people, no matter how liberal or racist they are. And then Jamal says, "Shut up, you biased Biden nut huggers." Okay, well, that's cool.
Welcome
but
to the show. Thanks for
considering
pushing
that
us
this is
up in
our,
the
I mean,
algorithm.
but welcome very much. Oh, and he, thank you very much. But I appreciate your comment.
I do too. Tell your friends to come over and troll us. Push us up in the algorithm.
I'm not even going to even say troll. Tell your friends to come over and respond. Tell them we, because again, we want to hear what you have to say. A says everyone is biased, but I don't know about nut hugging. I'm not hugging on anybody's nuts, so yeah.
Hey, listen, we here at Friendly Differences, we encourage people to come and exercise their First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. We all can be friendly and still have our differences. It's okay, because obviously if they call us Biden nut huggers, they must be Trump nut goblins. 10K
welcome,
extra a year.
welcome one and all. Welcome, because this is what we want. We want people to engage. And again, this is again where my difference comes in. We can engage and you can insult us, but see, we don't have to go there to make our point. In order for certain groups of people to make a point, then but okay, and let's and typically we would block this person, but I want to put this up here so everyone sees it. Okay, and I don't know if this person is black or not from his picture, but hey, that's hey. And Ace is giving him, his opinion. So, hey, come on, Jamal, bring it. Like Ace says, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Jamal, listen, you are more than welcome to come on the podcast. Of course, you will have to turn your camera on, and you can express your thoughts, feelings, and emotions about Joe Biden or Donald Trump. You're more than welcome to do that, but I get the feeling that you won't.
I want to ask him. I have a feeling where this is going, but Jamal, I want to ask you, when you say imagine taking up for Biden, a guy who can't even speak. When you say he can't even speak, can you please elaborate on what you mean by that? I have a feeling that I know, but can you elaborate on what you mean by that? Because I just want to be sure. And then we'll get to another video
And if you meant butt as in buttocks, it's butt. If you're going to insult us, could you please make sure your spelling and grammar is on point? Thank you.
So when you say, so are you talking about his speech patterns? Is that what you're referring to? His speech patterns? He says, go watch his video. There's no need to further elaborate on anything. If you cannot see what is going on, y'all are fools. Bye-bye. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming in. Thank you. Thank you. You know, so that was fun. I enjoyed that. You know, that was fun. That's why I say, you know, you don't always have to block people. You know, let them come out and we can see, you know, whatever, you know, so.
No, but you know, that's something. See, you can tell that he supports Trump because most of the time when you ask them for proof, they say, go do your own research. No. See, when I say something, I'm going to bring receipts because receipts are so fun. I don't have to go and watch his videos. I've probably watched more of the news on all platforms, not just CNN, not just MSNBC, but Fox
all of them.
and CNN as well. So the receipts are always going to receipt, and no one here is jumping up and down for Biden. Trust me, we're not.
And once again, apparently he did not hear everything that we said because it was clearly why we're not jumping up and down for Biden. But at the same time, like I said, I'm always going to vote, but it's the lesser of two evils for me. But having said that, let's get on with another video. This one is a tad bit longer, but we're playing it in this way because
we're wrapping up.
We have to have it in context. We have to put it in context. So
clearly indicates that there was intent. The court found the plan with unerring precision slices through the city's traditional subunit, the ward, in a racially selective manner, leaving intact predominantly white wards while carving up those densely populated by blacks. As of the governor, the court concludes, quote, the governor's opposition to the Nunes plan was predicated in significant part on his delineation of a majority black district centered in Orleans Parish. In a confidential portions of your staff memo, they brought to your attention the allegation that important legislators in defeating the Nunes plan in the basement said, quote, we already have a nigger mayor and we don't need any more nigger big shots. And the court cited evidence of discriminatory intent on the part of other legislators, including the representative who testified at the court hearing, that there were legislators, quote, who don't feel they wanted to have a district that would be able to elect.
All right. So you all heard him say the N word with the hard R. And I'm putting this in here. This was assessed by Associated Press. This is false because a lot of this has been, they only took the last part of when he used the N word and they say, oh, this is what he said. But Biden was not making the statement himself. He was reading a racist statement made by a state legislature during a redistricting process in Louisiana that was overseen by a deputy attorney general nominee. Biden was questioning the nominee under oath about the comments during a U.S. Senate hearing. So that's where those comments came from. And let me get the rest of that in here because
the problem is we all used to hear you are who you keep company with. Right? I used to hear that all the time. So we already know who his friend was. And then he turns around and uses that word. Whereas and I know some white people who despise that word. They don't allow it. But as A said, he was reading a legal document verbatim scripting. Right. But it can be taken, things like that can always be taken out of context. And that's not me even defending Biden. Could he have censored himself? Maybe. But here's the thing. And I always point out the hypocrisy. If he was one of those politicians, like one of the politicians that just called his colleague a jigaboo, they wouldn't have an issue. They would enjoy the racism. But see, they use that as a talking point as to say, oh, Joe Biden is racist, so why are you voting for him when you should vote for Trump? Why would I vote for Trump whose face is on the Confederate flag? Does that not stand for racism? Because it doesn't. I'm not from the South. It doesn't stand for Southern pride with me. The history behind that flag is bloody and disgusting. So why would I want to vote for a president that did not come out and say, take my face off of that flag? I don't want to be associated with that flag. I don't want to be associated with people who adhere to white supremacy. Now, again, sometimes it's subtle racism, and sometimes it's just right there in your face racism. And we say people can change. That's all well, fine, and good. Great. But I don't know.
But so let me ask this, because when you say people can change, and Biden has definitely said some things that he should not have.
Yes.
Do you believe that people can change? Do you think that if Strom Thurmond were alive right now, that he would still be his friend? And I mean, not just, I'm talking about out in the open and also behind closed doors, because I do believe people can change up to an extent. But I believe that when it comes to politicians, when they show you who they are, and also in your personal life too, because for me, this also has been so true. When people show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
And Biden has shown me who he is. Biden showed me who he is years ago. Trump
showed us,
has shown me who he is, even when he was on The Apprentice, and even before then. I mean, I followed Trump, and he showed his behind
years ago.
But again, who's behind his worst? Who's behind smells the worst? What do you do?
Good. And here's the thing about change. Okay. Never, ever did I expect to see Ann Coulter come out against Trump. One of the most, she's been problematic for years, and even she's speaking out against Trump. So you have people who were diehard Trump supporters and they're backing off. Did they change, or are they like rats on a sinking ship? Another person who, people are saying, well, people can change, is Candace Owens. Now all of a sudden, and that's a different show in its entirety, but all of a sudden, she got fired for being anti-Semitic. And I'm like, so y'all want to support her because they're saying, she's anti-Semitic, but we're going to forget about her being problematic and harmful to the Black community. See, that's the problem. I call it the key jingling method. You know how you're trying to get out the house and you jingle the keys at the kids so you can distract them so you can get away? That's what I call it. I don't think that they really change, because sometimes it's ingrained in them. Racism is inherent. It has always, for the longest time, it's been inherent and it's been generational. My brother works somewhere where he's seeing 14 and 15-year-olds rocking Trump hats. So it's only fair that those 14 and 15-year-olds who are being indoctrinated with Trump rhetoric and MAGA moronic rhetoric, that eventually they're going to be 24, 25-year-olds who may be diehard Republicans who feel like, let's build the wall. Biden was this. The Democrats did this. Sometimes I feel like with our political system, with our government, it's like an uphill battle that the rock just keeps getting harder and harder to push uphill, because we're still trying to figure out who's for us and who's against us. And it just seems that, like I said, Joe Biden seems like an old person who's trying to get into heaven now. And Trump doesn't care if he goes to heaven or
But
hell.
you know, but again, you know, it's interesting that everyone is so focused on Joe Biden's age when Trump is 3 years younger than him.
Yeah, Trump is.
So I mean,
yeah.
so it's not like it's not like this Trump is this 50-year-old man or this 35-year-old man who's running for office. He isn't.
No, I got no. Trust me, I said that. I said honestly, I think Trump is 78. He's 4 years younger than Biden.
Okay, well, because Biden just turned 81. Okay, so yeah,
right.
So
he'll be he'll be 82 in November, and and Dump will be 78 in June.
You know, so you look at this, and you talk about age. Look at Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, his second term, he was falling asleep at every meeting that there could have been. I mean, Mitch McConnell's falling downstairs and having strokes. And I mean, right. I mean, John McCain, heart issues, and he had brain cancer, whatever. So take away all that. And again, who has done what? You have Joe Biden out there who, when he was doing his town hall this past week, and you had people from Israel who were, cutting him off, whatever, and he handled it. He responded to them. He responded to them in a politically correct way. Whereas you have Trump out there saying, go out there and beat him, just beat him, and I will pay for your medical. I'll pay for your legal bills. You're not even paying for your own. How are you going to pay for somebody else's legal bills? That's right. Drag him out, beat him. So it's like, seriously, is this the person that you want? And you're talking about that Joe Biden is trying to take us into World War III when you have another man who is trying to start a war right here at home. That whether he wins or not with American people, whether he wins or not, they will still find some reason to start a race war. And so I'm going to put what Marlon said, because I think he came in late. We don't do this on the channel. Healthy rhetoric is allowed. The disrespect is not. Thank you for viewing the channel. Remember to like. Okay, so, but what we said, I welcome what Jamal said. Come on, bring it. I mean, usually,
but see, the minute that we asked him, what is your proof?
Exactly.
What is your proof? Oh, Joe Biden can't speak. He ran.
Yeah,
he ran.
Yeah,
and that's what they all do. You asked me to bring proof of something. I'll never forget it, Solid. I'll never forget. I did a video on Republicans that have been convicted of sex crimes against minors. And wouldn't you know it, somebody came up there and said, do Democrats now? I was like, bewitched. Boing. I got the whole list. And I said, now what do you want to say? Because here's the thing. I don't worship politicians. I don't blindly follow politicians. You save that for the MAGA universe. Because the fact that these people are getting ready to spend $60 on a Bible.
Not getting ready to. They are. I mean, they spent
are.
How much on the bobblehead?
It's rigged. Right. $60 on a Bible. Y'all, I watched a video right here on YouTube. Guy said that he spent tens and thousands of dollars following Trump around the country. If you have that kind of money, I don't want to hear you complaining about the economy. If you have $300 to spend on Trump sneakers, I don't want to hear you complaining about the economy. And I am worried about November as a Black person, as a member of the LGBT community, as a woman, because Trump is happy about Roe v. Wade being struck down. Trump has said he's going to put homeless people into work camps. Last time we put people into camps was when the Japanese Americans got put into camps. What was that, 1940, 41? Then they decided to start snatching kids from the border. No, we need to be worried about who's getting in here in November, because it affects everybody. And see, here's the problem. No one wants to listen to the Black people, namely the Black women of this country who vote, until everything starts to run downhill. Just like when we said about Roe v. Wade, what happened? Everybody jumped up and down about Roe v. Wade being overturned. And now what happened? In Alabama, IVF is in danger. Embryos, women who struggle with fertility, are having trouble. Joe Biden was not touching women's reproductive rights. And what they don't realize is messing around with Roe v. Wade started to interfere with HIPAA. So now you don't have the privacy, that the little bit of privacy that we had when it came to our medical records. Trump didn't think that far because Trump doesn't think. Solid?
I don't think he has the ability to think. And I'm not trying to be snarky or anything. I don't think he has the ability to think. I mean, you have a man that Trump reacts. He sees something, he reacts. Somebody says something, you react. And that's why look at what Jamal said. We said he reacts. He reacts. We need somebody who thinks. But then again, do any of them? But between Biden and Trump, I am voting for Biden. I'm sorry. I think not voting is a wasted vote.
I am voting as well. And I had to get on. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to get on someone about saying I'm gonna write somebody in. I said, why? Why would you waste the vote? You might as well give it to the other guy. Don't do that. Well, I don't really want to vote for either one of them. I said, listen, make a choice. Make a choice. Pick one.
Well, pick one. And I mean, people have their opinions and they can, do whatever. But people like Jamal, I mean, I don't, you may vote for Trump. I don't know. You may sit home, but you didn't have to leave. You could have stayed, but I asked a question and you didn't want to give me an answer. Instead, you wanted to insult, which is fine. And all I say is, I'm glad that you did insult us. I'm glad you did, because it showed your ignorance. It showed it. So you want to come back? Come on back. You want to insult some more? Come on. Because you're showing your ignorance. Or as my mother used to say, you're showing your ass.
Ha. Well, folks, I want to thank you for joining us on another Saturday. Keep those likes and subscriptions coming. Share the show with your friends. Hey, even if your friends don't agree with you, this platform is always open. We're not gatekeeping anything. If you have an opinion and you can speak without dropping a bunch of F-bombs and insults, and you are willing to put your face right up here with the rest of us, then we welcome you. We have Friendly Differences also want to wish everyone a happy Easter, whether you celebrate it or not. It is what it is. Be happy, be joyful, be prosperous, and be prepared to vote. The energy you are giving Diddy, Please give that energy in November. So until next time.
Peace.